Hi, I'm Dennis Washington from Cross Digital and CrossDig.com with your weekly pep talk, Crisis. I was saddened earlier this week to learn about the passing of a young man I'd known for many years while working in television. Bem and I worked together for 14 years, about the same age really. He just passed away in his sleep last week. Of course, while reflecting on his life, speaking with a few of my former coworkers about it and just reminiscing, I was also reminded of a principle that you and I have talked about over the past few months, and it's the importance of a crisis plan. If you passed away tonight, what would happen tomorrow? Would your business collapse? The people who work for you, are they going to be okay? You know, we often make plans for our family, our spouse, our children, life insurance, things and like that. But I've often learned as I've talked with business owners, especially the small ones, they don't always prepare. We just kind of live in the moment and promise ourselves, we'll get to that tomorrow. Today, it's all about making money. But sometimes you got to take the next step and just really, really be ready to engage and have a backup plan. I was listening to a presentation at our church this past weekend. Our congregation turns 100 years old this year. It's been in the city of Birmingham, Alabama for about 100 years. Some of our members have spent months researching the history of the congregation for the past 100 years. The presentation that I heard over the weekend covered the first 43 years, from 1914 to 1957. One of the things about the presentation that really, really struck me was the desire of the members of the congregation at that time in those early years to save money, not just for themselves, but to start other congregations within the city of Birmingham, not far away. I mean, they did that too, but really, really had a desire to start more congregations within the city of Birmingham. And some not, just maybe 15 blocks away. And, I mean, this was no accident. I mean, you could read the detailed church business meetings that showed that the congregation often gave money to support a building fund for another congregation at the expense of maintenance on the building that our congregation was in at the time. And why did they do this? Well, they had a plan. They had a dream. They had a vision of what they wanted to see accomplished, and they stuck to it. And it took years. I mean, we're talking $35,000 plus that they gave over this period to start another congregation just blocks down the road from them. And even gave thousands more to other congregations around the world as well. But they had a plan, and they knew what they wanted to accomplish. And they sacrificed themselves at it. But they had a vision. They knew what they wanted to see happen. And they stuck to that plan. So I say all that to ask you, what does success look like to you? And as you're making your plan for success, what happens when plan A fails? Do you have a crisis plan? Do you have a backup plan? That was one of the things I learned in TV for many, many, many years ago. Live television, you've got to expect plan A to fail and immediately be prepared to execute plan B. Because if you don't, you really look bad on TV, and that could even end up costing you money and business down the road as well. So you always have to have a backup plan and be ready to execute it immediately. So I tell you all that to tell you, my encouragement to you this week, put a plan together, not just for what you're trying to accomplish, but in case the primary plan fails, what's the backup plan? What's the crisis plan? What happens if you're not there? What if your absence, your death, causes the crisis? Have a backup plan. Be ready and have everybody around you be prepared to do that. And one of the things that we've shared before as part of a strategy to that is to try to teach everyone around you everything you know. The more you can teach people, the smarter they'll be, the more they'll be able to execute in your absence. So that's a great way to set up a backup plan. Is just try to teach everyone around you everything you know. Lift them up, make them stronger, and it will make your business stronger. It'll make your family stronger, to make your life stronger, especially if your absence happens. The backup plan goes into place and everything keeps moving. That's a great legacy to leave, by the way, is knowing that you did everything you could do to continue and to set up a plan for success in the event of your passing. I'm Dennis Washington with this week's Weekly Pep Talk from Cross Digital and CrossDig.com.